Hey folks, it's Paul here once again. Today we're going to be talking about the Trivium plugins by Bogren Digital. So what can I tell you about it? I used everything, basically, is what I can tell you about it. I used the drums, the bass, and both guitar knobs. The thing that comes to mind about these plugins is that they are mix ready. And mix ready is a really high compliment, I think. Now, did I use some extra plugins? Did I mix that little tune? I certainly did. I added some saturation for the low end. I did certain things to make it all gel really, really well for me. And of course, there's some sound design. So you can really hear what it sounds like in a full kind of above amateur mix, let's say. I'm not going to call myself a pro mixer of music just yet, you know. For the rhythm guitars, all I really did was use the first cabinet, the modern cabinet. I didn't bother using the other style, it just didn't fit for my mix. For the bass, I also used the match cabinet, same with the leads. The leads, I didn't end up using the chorus and the delay effects just because I like to have control of the modulation and of the delay of my stuff, but it sounds pretty darn good without that. For the bass, I used Waves Max Bass just to add a little bit more hysterical sounding oomph to the bottom end. But otherwise, the way that I mixed it is actually quite simple. I ended up doing a guitar left and guitar right, did a high layer of a guitar rhythm sound, that was then turned into not a rhythm anymore, kind of like this droney, siren-y thing you can hear. And I also ended up using a DI version of my bass sound as well as the amped version through the Trivium plugin. Now, my bass sound is just a very simple gin bass and it works quite well for me. I don't have a bass right now. As you can see, I've moved to another place in the world. So it was just a matter of using what I had to make the best thing that I could. One thing that you'll notice is that the lead sounds a little bit odd. Well, it's because it's double tracked and pans just a little bit into the stereo spectrum to give some width. I thought it would be a really fun thing to do. It's a bit inspired by Symphony X's Michael Romeo. He does a lot of that kind of thing, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Not easy. Definitely do not recommend. Not easy. Well, maybe recommend. If you like the sound, then go for it, but it's not going to be the simplest thing. One thing that you'll hear is that I go quite low on an 8 string. I go like down to like a C sharp or a C. It's because I'm using my quad cortex to track, and that has a transpose function on it, which is killer. So just keep that in mind. Like, I'm detuning quite greatly as well. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. And yeah, so that's how I use the plugins. They're really, really simple to use. It really is just a matter of twisting one knob and deciding if you like the cabinet or not. It's very, very reliable that way. You can, of course, switch out what cabinets you're using, which is really cool. You can use different IRs. Bogren Digital makes amazing IRs. I use them even in my quad cortex as well. So it's just some things to think about. There isn't too much in terms of what you can do that's different in terms of functionality. What you get is what you get, but that forces you to make decisions and to work with what you have, as opposed to maybe having 400 different tones at your fingertips through like one plugin, which can be a little bit of option paralysis. So this takes some of the guesswork out of it. And of course, it's Trivium style, so it's after Matt Heafy's and Corey Bolio's sound. So keep that in mind as well. It's not going to be necessarily the most death metal thing. I'm surprised I got this kind of sound out of it, to be honest with you. It worked quite well. So let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I think it sounded pretty dope, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.